At the beginning of last year, Montevideo had the opportunity to offer Chinese in a before-school class. As we developed the parameters for this class, the opportunity was presented for us to have a sister school in China. We thought this would be a fabulous experience for our school and our students. As we developed that sister school relationship, an invitation came from China to come and see their school. In China, parents are very willing to have their children come visit us, whereas our parents are more hesitant to send their 10-year-old children abroad. In February, Montevideo hosted 8 students from Qingqian Primary School for 5 days. What an incredible experience! Having made meaningful connections with our visitors from China, and in response to their invitation, I decided to go visit Qingqian Primary School in Changzhou, China.
With the implementation of Quail Run's Mandarin Dual Immersion program, we began exploring ways to broaden our cultural connection with China. At the same time that we were applying for a volunteer teacher from China, we were approached to see if we were interested in having a Chinese sister school. Our PTA, staff, and school site council enthusiastically embraced this opportunity, and we actively fostered this relationship. Next thing I knew, I was on my way to Changzhou to visit Sanjing Primary School in the Jiangsu province.
When I arrived at Live Oak, I was struck by the amazing cultural diversity of our school. Wanting to be able to serve and best understand the cultural foundation of many of our families, I actively pursued the opportunity to develop a sister school relationship. We soon were offered a partnership with Wenxin Education Group in Hangzhou, China. I excitedly embraced this adventure with my 2 colleagues, Carol and Sharon.
Our first visitation was to Montevideo's sister school, Qingqian Primary School in Changzhou. The school was very modern. The electronic marquee greeted us with a warm welcome to our American friends, in Mandarin and in English, including pictures of Steve and Bill Clarkson taken with our students who had already visited Montevideo in January. Those same students welcomed us in a gigantic ceremony where we were treated like royalty. Every visitor received a huge bouquet of flowers, and the 1,900 children sang the national anthem, the school song, and then paraded past us as they entered the building. The school is amazing. Built in 2010, each wing has 5 stories. The courtyards depict the history of China, including the Great Wall. The science wing blew us away. It was like a science museum complete with an interactive map of the world, where students could locate the habitat of the stuffed wildlife that was displayed around the center. All 1,900 students were eating lunch in the cafeteria at the same time, and every one of them cleaned up after themselves. Even in China, lunch is a process. At every corner of the school, we were greeted by the students. We viewed an English lesson before having the opportunity to teach about the California 49ers.
The next day, we headed to Quail Run's sister school, Sanjing Primary School, where once again we were greeted warmly by our Chinese colleagues. Sanjing School is also a school of over 1,900 students, recently remodeled with state-of-the-art technology with a focus on weekly professional development. It seemed a perfect fit for our quails, as it was surrounded by ongoing construction, a lot of apartment buildings, and a focus on the whole child. Sanjing has its own rainbow room, also called the Happy House, an extensive calligraphy program, and the science room here was also exceptional. We got the opportunity to teach a demonstration lesson in their Professional Development Center that was mic'd and designed for collaborative learning. Their teaching methods were up to date, as we observed students turn and talk, explain their thinking, and we saw the instructor ask meaningful questions. They had great pride in their school.
We then traveled 3 adventurous hours on Chinese freeways to Hangzhou, where Live Oak's sister school Wenzhen is located. The principal, Mr. Gao, is the principal of 3 campuses, each of which houses more than 1,000, 2 of which we had the opportunity to visit. I also found many similarities watching large groups of children participate in PE, even though some of the activities were unique to China. What particularly struck me were the word walls on the columns as we entered the campus. The word wall is something we see in every classroom at Live Oak. What was impressive was that in China, these word walls were in English. Participating in the art lesson and learning calligraphy from our colleagues was exciting. The eye exercises that take place at every school in China twice a day are mandated by the government. It was fascinating to watch students engage in these as the music played in the background.
We not only visited the schools, but in each city we were exposed to amazing cultural opportunities that we would never have experienced if we had not had this connection with the wonderful people from our sister schools. We had a private tour led by the director of the Shangzhou National History Museum, saw a performance on the West Lake in Hangzhou, a lake listed as one of the 1,000 places to visit before you die. In addition, we toured Shanghai, Nanjing, and Beijing, once again adding to our cultural understanding and global awareness.
An important part of each visit was the signing of the sister school agreement. We all took it seriously, and it was an emotional experience for us and our Chinese colleagues. We are excited to continue these partnerships as staff and students work together to build global understanding and cultural competency.
Each day we were given opportunities to grow and learn as human beings. At a Buddhist temple in Shangzhou, we saw the following quote next to a wood carving of a Buddha. The wood carving implies that everything will run smoothly, will not have a disaster, and that nothing is impossible for a willing heart.